in those battles of toilet seat up, toilet seat down, I take that battle and I say, this is an opportunity for me to reprogram this down here. You see, and how does it look when you, this is how it looks like to reprogram that. It looks like this. My brain is not programmed to understand why I should leave it, what, down or whatever. But what I do to reprogram it is I leave it down. I don't need to, that's how I reprogram it. I go against whatever this is telling me. You see what I'm saying? And then when I go against that, right, that opens up in me a ladder. You know, and Jacob, and they talk about Jacob's ladder, and then there's a scripture in the gospel that said Jesus saw a ladder up to heaven. Me reprogramming this gives me a gateway to climb back up. Y'all see what I'm saying? And that's why too, this is still talking about symbols, right? Because to me, a woman is a symbol of the Creator. Why? Because she's the part that brings completion to me. Do you see that? That's why we're drawn. And to a woman, a male is a symbol of that. And I'm not talking about just marriage. Y'all see what I'm saying? Because I have female friends, and I respect them so much because what? When I talk to them about an issue, they're going to give me a perspective that is not naturally in my head. You feel what I'm saying? And so what's that's going to do when I choose to connect to it and respect it is that gives me a perception that's above what my brain is programmed to see. So I see, it's almost like a window into the divine mind. Y'all see that? So that it was still talking about symbols. But did you have something?
Well, I had a question about back when Vernell said that oneness was in the spiritual, and then we said that when we came down to the brain, the ego, there was the divide, but was a portion of that divide was in the spirit.
Yeah, because there was distinction. There was distinction. You remember when in Genesis where it said you need to pull Eve out of you?
Right.
You know, that's where distinction came.
Like, I mean, the things that I studied, one thing that clicked with me was that the soul is the record of free will. Mm-hmm. So the minute we stepped outside of the Creator and began creating our own stuff, that's when the soul was kind of put into play. And so there was a division, so to speak. There is a division in heavenly realms. There are things going on in heavenly realms, battles going on. Yeah,
until you get to a place of oneness. Because I won't go into that too much because there's there's a science of understanding how when you go deeper and deeper into yourself and deeper into the Creator, there's a place where there is no division.
Okay. Which is what you said
earlier
today when we were talking about we keep.
There's a portion of us that stays.
Yeah, that stays. There's something in us that can never be destroyed.
Right. So
that's what we're trying to get back to.
Faith we talk about.
Yes, there's an energy signature from this that can never be destroyed, and that's what we're working back to. Now where am I? I'm talking about the symbols, right? Wow. Okay. So now, what we're doing now, and okay, here we go. I'll go back to the Jacob story. The reason Jacob was able to call that place Peniel or become aware of the face of God within him, right, is because he reversed the polarity of his soul. Okay? And what I mean by that is this. What we are in this earth is an amplifier of thoughts and desires. We are an amplifier and a manifester of it. Alright? To the degree of this, how the universe works, how the Creator set creation to work, right? If I believe that I don't have enough, or if I believe that I'm separate, or if I believe that if I have like low self-esteem, what the creation does is it amplifies that. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't try to fix me. It doesn't say, oh, let me give you something good to boost you up. What it does is it amplifies that, and the reason it amplifies it is to bring you to a point where you don't want that anymore. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'll give you an example. I got to give a cultural example. Black people, right? We have a very negative thing. I'm talking about collectively. I ain't talking about all, but we still sometimes live in a lot of negativity. Now, what happens since we live in that negativity, and the brain backs it, because the brain says, well, we've been through slavery, or we've been through this, or we've been through that. So the brain backs it. What we do is we create realities that reflect that kind of damaged kind of perspective.
Right, that's correct.
Do you see what I'm saying? You have to reprogram this? Because if I go into my experience, I can validate why I can feel negative, why I can hate, why I can do everything. Because I can say, my grandfather, I can go back to my great-great-grandfather, what occurred. You see what I'm saying? So the brain backs anything, the brain or the ego is going to back anything that I want to control. If I want to control a negative illusion of myself, I can. And then what the universe does, because I'm a creature of free will, is it amplifies that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And now, you feel what I'm saying? Exactly. It's the law of attraction based upon the polarity of who I am. So if my polarity is just based on my individual experience and my set of facts, then the energy I draw from everything I see around me, the symbols that are all around me, because life is a symbol, right? I draw that energy and I recreate negative circumstances, etc. And it's so powerful that I seed it into my children. Do you see what I'm saying? Thought amplification means that I can sow that energy into my descendants. Look, you have a thought?
Yeah, that means that what we see reflected about our youth, we have created in them. We have manifested in them.
And guess what happens? They're an amplified version of it. Because you know how, do you see what I'm saying? Because this is what parents say. Parents say, oh my God, I never did that. That's all the crap you wish you could have did that you didn't have the guts to do.
No, or you did and you've hidden that.
And you hidden it. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So now what happens is the universe amplifies that through your offspring. You feel what I'm saying? Now, the thing about that too, because I don't want to leave that in a kind of like negative, bastardized feeling of, oh, we all in hell. No. What happens is, even though that's amplified, those attitudes and how they manifest, that is more energy available to transfer into this. Does that make sense? Because it's amplified energy, negative or positive. But how it's used, right, is based on whether you're trying to reprogram this to be a vessel for the divine mind. I want to make sure that makes sense, because when you see, there was I was reading something about in the book of Exodus when the Hebrews were leaving Egypt, right? And I was trying to decode it and see the code in it. And there was this one point where the generation that had just come out of bondage said, look at this new generation. Basically, they're saying they suck. They don't have no rules. They look out of control. And it was like Moses or something said, nah, they're in the best position. Because what's happened is that even though they look disorderly and stuff, they won't settle for the illusions that y'all did. You feel what I'm saying? You see?
It's happening now.
And they were the actual generation that was willing to reprogram this and leave the wilderness. Which means climbing into a place where they could build with their divine mind. If that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? So like, even though we look at this generation and the younger ones and you say they're so out of control, that only means that they have they've been designed, even though with a lot of different strange things, they have way more ability to climb into this because they have that energy propel them upward. You see? So that's how this thing operates. So the only thing, but everyone is responsible for the reprogramming once the awakening comes. Because something is happening now where people all over sense some kind of shift or change. You know what I mean? And that's what's happening, because we're completing a certain cycle right now where we're having an opportunity to make a major leap into who and what we are spiritually. And you can see this even in the movies. You know? Because what is happening with the movies is different symbologies about who and what we are being placed all within the movies. Everywhere. Avatar. Dog, you read in my mind. You feel what I'm saying? You read in my mind. I'm going to tell you an old one. Superman.
Oh, I need to see that.
No, the old Christopher Reeve. I'm talking about Christopher Reeve, that 1977 one.
Wow.
Because
it's the same thing with the movie Precious, though, too.
Yeah, they all have these symbolisms in it. Now check it out with Superman. Because Superman is talking about what I'm talking about. They lived in a world where everything